and it kills and it thrills like the horns on my Silverado grill. And by the bar, double round the crown, and everybody's getting down in this town. Ain't never gonna be the same. 'Cause I saddle up my horse and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise 'cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody says, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Well, I don't give a dang about nothing. I'm singing and bling-blinging while the girls are drinking. Long necks down, and I wouldn't trade old Leroy or my Chevrolet for your Escalade or your freak parade. I'm the only John Wayne left in this town. And I saddle up my horse and I ride into the city.
And how many of you saddle up on your horse and ride in the city? Hello out there, and welcome to the Shrink and Wrap Show. My name is Tracy, and you're listening to TAN Talk Radio right here in Clearwater, Florida. We are your community station, and we are here to lift you up because everybody matters. And what we are is we have licensed therapists, and we have raps who are friends, and we have DJ Ed playing the songs that will have the lyrics to help you get through your day. Together, we combine it all on a topic, and we figure life out, and we're just friendships here getting through life together. So welcome to our show. And today, that was, does anyone know what song that was? Have you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. You just heard it, right? Well, I just want you to know that I had never heard of it because I just did my show homework about an hour ago. So that was called Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Does anyone know who that sings that? That's Ed. Who sings that? DJ Ed. Okay, that's okay. All right, that's okay. I put him on the spot a little bit. So
you put everybody on the spot.
I know I do. Okay. I know I do.
That's okay though.
Yeah. So
expect it.
Can you, Detective Jay and Hollywood Chris, and we have a guest in here today too.
Hello, guest.
Hi.
And tell me, let's introduce you as well. We've got our wraps in our Shrink and Wrap.
Thank you for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Introduce yourself to Hollywood.
Anna Hummel.
Anna, well, thank you. So you just happened to be in. We're like, you were in the office of Lola's office.
Yeah. I've been in radio for probably just shy of a decade, but looking for the next venture. So we'll see where we land.
Wow.
Yeah.
A decade. I feel a little intimidated. I mean, I had zero experience in.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So let us know what we're doing wrong.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I can't. No way. You guys are great. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
You have a great radio voice.
Really?
Yeah, you do.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Where'd you come from?
Like what stations?
Yeah, well, like local Tampa. Are you from?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I'm from San Diego, but but I was on 102.5 The Bone for a few years.
Oh,
and then I also worked with Bubba the Love Sponge as well.
Way.
Yeah, guilty. So
no, that's okay, and that's all good. So
yeah.
Community. And what about MJ? Do you know MJ?
I do know MJ, so there might be some opportunity there.
We
as well.
really like MJ.
Yeah,
MJ's
great.
We hear you. He was on the radio the other day. He was like, if you want to hear me, let me know. We hear you. And he's great in the morning. So anyone that listens to MJ in the mornings, he's great too. So Bubba. So if you're listening to the Shrink and Wrap Show, we're going back to Tampa roots and community. Yeah. And this is your community station. We're here to lift you up, and we're here to talk about positive things. I feel a little intimidated now, but that was awesome, man. Well, you stay tuned. Good. I like it. Radio 101 right here at the Shrink and Wrap Show. So today, Janice, Detective Jay, and Hollywood Chris, they're part of my raps and part of this, and we have DJ Ed. You had suggested having a show today. So can you let everyone know that why we're doing this show today and what it's going to be a little bit about?
Well, basically, I've been talking about doing a show that had a lot to do with, because Rowene always makes such a big impression on me every time that, we're on the show speaking of people and their connections. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes you just have to let life take its journey. And our journey started back about 2010. Kids were getting older, and I said, hey, I want to get back into riding horses again. So we found a great farm, Avalon Stables, Avalon Family Charities now. And I said, well, let's start just leasing a horse out there. And then before you know it, we ended up buying this big black guy that's right behind you, that big, gorgeous black Frisian. Rami.
You can see it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
And his mount is Hollywood Chris right there.
Yeah. And you're going to tell your story too, because today's show is going to tie into why animals, what they do for us for therapy. So if you're listening, so go ahead.
And exactly, that's where I'm going. Thanks, Tracy, for jumping in.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to go. We're going to talk about animals, how they join into your life, their therapy. I mean, we're always talking about good stuff, good uplifting therapy to our listeners. And I know I leave here with a lot in my heart full when we're talking about that. But so many people have animals, and we talk about animals being part of, I had written out some notes here, but, sometimes it's fear or faith. Sometimes it's fight or flight. You got to figure it out, and you got to say, let life happen. This is something that happened. Yeah. And we just said we're going to go with this journey. So that's where we're at.
Right. And we're going to share that with everybody. So if you love horses, pets, or any type of animals, you're going to want to stay here, because we're going to let you know what the benefits of having a pet is today. And we're going to share some stories. Yeah. And I do want everyone to know that the Shrink and Wrap Show is all suggestions and opinions. It's suggestions and opinions. And again, we have licensed therapists, and they offer suggestions and opinions. So the rest is up to you to take the ideas that we pass to you. So, and I also want to say too, that I want to thank you, because after thinking about this show today that you gave this great idea to, it's really what this show's all about.
Yes,
and
it is.
To me, I feel like there's so much negativity in the world.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to get attention by giving someone negative that's out there, stealing people's joy, attention.
That's right.
So for me, I want to take a break and just have a regular hour of just a regular moment.
Yes.
And also, I want everybody out there, if you're listening, we don't want you to be alone out there. And we want you to know that we want to identify with you. We want to lift you up. We share beauty ideas. We're going to share some today. We share our thoughts so we can all get through this life together. So I've got two songs. I'm going to play your favorite songs throughout this hour. Yeah. But we're going to start off with a loosen up song. And I want to know your favorite song as we go through the hour as well. All right, DJ Ed, give me my loosen up song that I just picked 5 minutes ago. I need it.
Well, my heart knows it better than I know myself, so I'm gonna let it do all the talking. I came across a place in the middle of nowhere with a big black horse and a cherry tree. I felt a little fear upon my back. I said, don't look back, just keep on walking. When the big black horse said, look this way, he said, hey, that day will you marry me? But I said, no. I said, no, you're not the one for me. No. I said, no, you're not the one for me.
And $1 million question. Uh-oh. Who sings that, and what's the title of the song? That should be an easy title.
It should be. You're right. It should be.
I don't even know it either. How about that? It's Black Horse and a Cherry Tree.
There you go.
And it's by Katie. Do you have the right name down, Ed?
He's on the floor.
Maybe not. Okay, well, we'll get right back to you with that. So anyway, that was our Loosen Up song we just picked out 5 minutes ago. And we are going to get Roween on the line right now. That's our shrink number 4. Is Roween on? Okay. Roween, hello. It's Tracy from the Shrink and Wrap. How are you, my friend?
Hi.
Hi, Tracy. I'm fabulous. How are you?
Well, I just had a loosen up song, but we got a trivia question out there. We're going to get the answer in just a bit of who sings. That's the mystery question. So thank you for joining us again. Last week we talked to Cindy a little bit about PTSD, and Cindy was our shrink number 5.
Right.
And we were talking about post-traumatic stress syndrome. And this week we're going to be talking about what animals can do and pets can do to better our lives. So we want to bring on a licensed therapist, who's your shrink number 4. Tell us a little bit about the benefits of being a pet owner or being involved with pets.
Well, the benefits are wide and numerous, both physical, emotional, and social health and well-being. Just the act of petting an animal physically lowers your blood pressure.
Wow.
And physically lowers cortisol levels and helps to promote relaxation.
Mm.
Then there is the companionship, the unconditional love and emotional support that our pets give us, which can reduce feelings of loneliness and isolation. It improves our mood because we can't look at our pets and the fun things they're doing without feeling a sense of laughter and joy. Mm-hmm. So it elevates our mood. Mm-hmm. And there's a ton, speaking of the PTSD, there are a ton of benefits and a lot of different mental health therapies that benefit people with PTSD and trauma, and use particularly horses in that area of helping to overcome some of the feelings that are associated with the PTSD, autism, and various other kinds of mental and emotional challenges. Mm-hmm. It teaches routine and responsibility. And routine is hugely important to people with ADHD, as well as autism and loneliness. Routine build resiliency in those levels. Mm-hmm. And then the responsibility of taking care of the dog makes us think about something outside ourselves. Mm-hmm. And thinking outside ourselves is always beneficial, especially when we can get to ruminate on all the things that are wrong in our own lives. Mm-hmm. So it diverts our attention outside of us. Pets, particularly dogs and horses, have a therapeutic value in reducing social anxiety and creating focus, patience, and consistency in our lives. Mm-hmm. The social benefits is that they encourage us to go outside, take them for a walk, be with others, and encourage us to see more about the world than just our little capsule that we create inside our homes and inside our heads. They improve mood. Not sure if I said that already. But they enhance learning by teaching problem solving, empathy, and concern. So there is a wide variety of benefits to having pets and to being associated with animals in general. Mm-hmm. Your questions?
Do you guys have any questions? Anybody here about pets or a story? I know for you, I've heard your story about your wife got you on a horse and you were a little, were you nervous? You never rode horses? Or
I didn't know how to ride a horse.
Yeah. But then did it build your confidence? What did it do for you and your relationship, right? I mean, she talked you into it, something you didn't want to do.
Correct.
Right?
That's
but you
correct.
did it because happy wife, happy life, they say.
Yeah. Obviously, he did it because that's a championship picture right there.
That is a beautiful picture.
Yeah, that's a championship picture from Blowing Rock, North Carolina.
Yeah. So, and this was Mystic. And this is part of your healing. This is part of the Shrink and
Yes.
Wrap show by using songs, a licensed therapist,
That's right.
and to share to get other people through tough times.
It's part of my closure.
It is part of your closure.
Yeah.
So, but what did it do for you and your relationship?
I'll tell you a quick story. This is at this show actually up in North Carolina. It was raining. We never practiced in the rain before. We've never ridden in the rain, and it's raining. So off we go. And I just felt a calming from him.
Oh.
He it was just like, just sit here, Dad, and I'll do the rest. I know what to do. You just sit and smile and make it look good. That's what I did. I held on for dear life.
I know the feeling.
That was a very tough competition up there, and the picture looks nice and dry because the next day it was dry, but the actual championship qualifications, it was muddy, and every step that this big black horse took was a big splash. And I could just see it splashing back on Chris and everything, but they just looked like they were having a ball. And he said he kept looking at one trainer and thought that was our trainer, and then he figured out it wasn't our trainer.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Pam.
Well, did it have a cherry tree though?
No cherry tree on top of the mountain.
So that song kind of goes with it, right? You heard
That arena's 100 years old and had no electricity.
but she didn't say keep on walking.
No.
Yeah,
no,
right,
no.
okay.
And he saw all these people riding out there, and he said, "Gosh, look how great they are." I said, "They're just, don't worry about them. They're just regular riders." No, they were trainers riding, and he caught on to it. But guess what? There you go. There's a championship rider right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I know that Mystic has made a lot of people happy in the community.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people. It was like a celebrity horse.
He's
right?
an ambassador to his breed.
Yeah.
And one reason that we're doing this, it's going to be his legacy trophy tomorrow. It's the Rami Perpetual Legacy Trophy. It's because of the impact that he had on so many people's lives. In fact, when we went to purchase him, the young lady that was leasing him was a challenged young lady, and she was actually riding him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm glad you said it. And Rowene, I guess you basically kind of said it. It says horses here can help build trust and overcome fears. So
Absolutely.
it's true, right? And it did for you too. And so,
Well, I don't know. That fear comes and goes.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to say fear or faith, right,
Yeah.
Rowene?
Yes, absolutely.
So I just want to know where is the trophy going to be given at? Like, can you tell us a little bit more? Because I don't want to get excited. I want to go back to Rowene while we have her on the air.
So the first presentation of the Rami Perpetual Legacy Trophy is in loving memory, of course, of our Frisian, who was an ambassador to the breed. It's going to be presented tomorrow at the Bob Thomas Equestrian Center at Class 88 at 10 a.m. in the morning. It is the English Pleasure Walk Trot Open Stakes class. So that will be the very first one. It will be televised by Richfield Videos.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great to know. And if people
Yeah.
would like more information, they can call in here at 727-441-3000 and
Yeah.
talk to DJ Ed here, and he'll give you more information. We'll announce it again. Rowene, so can you tell us some more advantages of owning a horse? And the thing is, it's a lot of people don't, once you lose an animal, you're kind of like, do I want to have another one?
Yeah.
Can you help us
Yes.
with that psychologically from
Yes.
dogs to horses to birds?
That's what I was going to talk about. That was the next thing I was going to talk about. Great mind reading.
Telepathy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Telepathy is wonderful. Yeah, people will say, I don't want another pet because it was so hard losing
Yeah.
that pet, whatever it was. And the benefits far outweigh the negativity of it. Yes, when we lose them, we grieve because we love them and they love us. It's in remembering all of the good things that they brought to us.
Mhm.
Like you were just talking about Trophy and the way that you're commemorating him.
Yes.
It's remembering the positive things that come that let us move on in life from loss, and to outweigh the benefits outweigh the negative parts. So yeah, you grieve, And that's perfectly natural and normal, but it's resistance to pain. The Buddhists will say that pain is inevitable in life. Suffering is optional. And suffering is holding on to the pain that you feel. So you feel the pain and breathe through it and then be willing to let it go in favor of the positive things that come to you as a result of knowing the dog, the horse, the person that has caused the grief.
I think it's what comes out of the pain too, like this in particular,
Yes. Yeah, we get a choice of how we handle the pain.
Right.
I lost my daughter in a car accident a number of years ago. And every year then, I would do something to commemorate. I planted trees at high school, put down a variety of stepping stones, various things that have been dedicated to her memory and who she was. And that keeps her alive in my mind and in the minds of all who knew her, and every time they see and appreciate a tree.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's sweet.
So
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's a way that it's the way we can memorialize those we love and care about, whether they're pets or people.
I like
And
that. The
That's
more,
wonderful.
yeah, what she just said.
Wonderful. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
And so, that's what makes it worth the effort to have another pet after you've lost one. And the idea of replacing, you never really replace, but our hearts are big enough to make room. The Japanese have a theory, it's got a name, I don't remember it, but everything that breaks, they put it back together with gold and make it, and then it becomes a larger vessel and can hold more. So when our hearts break, if we are willing to put them back together with gold, the memories, the positive things, then it just makes more space in our hearts to love more.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing. Yes, the momentary pain is uncomfortable, but that's part of life. It's what we do with it when we feel it.
We say
so important.
We say sometimes you're alive when you feel your pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
And I like the I've heard, sometimes you see with your eyes, but you feel with your heart. So even if you don't see something, you still feel it with your heart. And I think that's such another fascinating thing to me in life, like the fact that you can feel it in your heart.
Well, I think that happens with animals too.
Yeah, of course.
They actually say horses can feel your heartbeat, and they can actually rhythm their heartbeat with their herd.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And there are some newer research that is showing us that dogs are particularly wired to be with people and to understand and interact with people.
Oh, I believe that.
And I imagine that it goes to other animals as well. Just the research I recently read was about dogs, that even dogs that had been wild and not been around people, within a short period of time of being introduced, they were following commands, pointing, not complicated commands, but pointing and coming when called and wanting to really make the connection. So they are our companions and really want to feed us and be part of who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it benefits both.
Yeah. And, I like to respond back to loss too, because I feel like there's so many animals. There's so many, like the Humane Society, there's wild animals. I mean, there's so many, some of my friends' mothers who are wiser, they've lost pets. And I guess in the past, they would say, I'm not going to get another one. But they found that getting another one quicker
Yeah.
healed. And I did that.
Agreed.
And I do agree with that. And you're filling the
agree.
space and giving another pet a home.
Right. And I absolutely
Yeah.
say, it's great to have a breed. It's great if there's a specific reason you want a breed. But there are so many rescues out there. And pretty much every other animal I've ever had was a rescue. And, there was not a difference between the love I had for them, whether they were a breed or a rescue.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can give it its best home.
Yeah.
And you know what? The thing is that, you gave it the best life. And that's you gave Romney Mystic a beautiful. Romney, is that the nickname?
So the way the name starts is in the Netherlands. That's where it comes from. Okay. So they start with 3 letters. So that year, 1997, there was an R. And his sire was Rijke 321, who was a Baroque dressage horse. And the Netherlands, so he came from a grand horse. And that's how his name is Rami, but he was affectionately called Mystic by the very first owner, Lisa Masejewicz's daughter, Rachel, named him Mystic with a K because she liked mystical things.
Oh, cool. I like that.
That's the story.
A lot of story behind it. That's good.
Literally started out just like that.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Well, Rowene, I know you usually have to go at 3:30 helping others out there. Are you still with us? Do you want to still stay?
I am still with you. I can stay a few more minutes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm trying to do better on my time management. I tell you what, when you do this, you learn a lot about yourself. You're like,
Yes, so I imagine you do.
Yeah. So
the thing I wanted to comment on was rushing the grieving process.
Yeah.
Yes, it's nice to get a pet or get something new and divert ourselves from the grief. It is not necessarily healthy.
Yeah.
So even if you lose a pet, give it some time before you rush right out and get another one, because you do have to go through the grieving process.
Right.
There's no shortcuts for that. And we can put it in the back of our mind, but eventually the unconscious is going to force it out in some way.
Yeah.
So it's not healthy to rush the grieving process or to rush away from pain, which as Americans, we tend to do quite frequently, rush away from anything that's painful or uncomfortable. So be willing to sit with it.
Right. And you know what, Rowene, and it's not just about horses, because some people have a preference to dogs or whatever. But honestly, I did a little research here and it said that, let's just say you do have a little bit of a loss. And actually, our hairdresser just did this. He didn't have a loss, but he bought a fish and one of those betta fish. And he said, and it's funny because I did some research here, but it says watching a fish swim can calm brave waves and lower blood pressure.
Yeah.
And there is something calming about that, right? So you can just go get a pet fish and name him Nemo, right? I mean, right?
Yes.
Well, that's why they say the term at the barn is, my husband knows what that means when I say I'm at the barn. That means I won't be back for a while. And when you're brushing the horse, it's actually been proven that, like you said, it calms you. Because you're really telling them your problems when you're brushing them and when you're taking care of them. Yeah. I know it's the same for other animals, but big animals, it's very interesting how they communicate back to you.
Yeah. And I think for children too, it teaches them empathy. Would you say that? Because I think a lot of kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what age would you say? Because I think that and a responsibility and a sense of purpose and loving back and forth. But can I just ask you, in your opinion, what age is do you have an age and a pet timeline to teach kids responsibility? I mean, there's lizards out there, how would you do that in a timeline with the kids starting maybe like at 5 years old? Would you give them a dog at 5 or would you give them a lizard at 5?
Right. At 5, I might start with a fish if the whole rest of the family's not on board.
Okay.
Because fish take less care than dogs, cats, horses. And the brain does not understand if-then consequences until after 6 years of age. So teaching routine and empathy, when you start that at 5, then you want something simple. And the parent has to know that they're going to be part of changing the water out and part of making sure the feeding happens, that is a teaching time.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't have an expectation that the child will know exactly what to do at 5. Usually so 6 is when we get the cognitive ability to set no consequences.
Mm-hmm.
If this happens, then this is going to happen. Before that, it's pretty magical thinking most of the time.
Right.
So 6 is a good age for them to start to become responsible and know the consequences of not being responsible.
Right.
And then as they get older, they get more levels of responsibility. A good rule of thumb for kids is always let them do what they're capable of doing for their age.
Right. I like the fish idea at 5. And I recommend spring water. You know what, Rowan? You're welcome to stay with us. But I also wanted to say, real quick, and then I forgot I got my nonprofit host, and we have another guest on.
Yep.
That's,
and I have to go.
And and you have to go, but equine therapy.
Yeah.
Real quick, can you have a sentence on equine therapy? Is that everything we basically talked about? Any closing statement with that?
Yeah, equine therapy is really amazing for helping with a lot of mental health issues, PTSD, autism, just trauma and loss.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps with lack of self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Because it gives you a feedback loop that's really positive. It's very helpful and a wonderful way to engage. It is used for addiction as well as PTSD and the others that we've already mentioned.
It's used a lot for veterans as well.
Yeah. And speaking of that,
that's where the PTSD comes in.
Yeah. And, we talked about trauma therapy. There's trauma therapists out there, and now there's equine therapists as well. And Rowene, thank you so much. Can you give everyone your phone number? And I'm going to let Janice pick her favorite song, and we're going to let you pick yours a little bit later here. But can you give us your phone number, and we'll see you next week back here at the Shrink and Wrap Show. Thank you for today.
Yes, absolutely. It's 813-857-2401.
Thank you, Rowene. Thank you as always.
You're welcome. You guys have a great week.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
You too. All right. So can you give us your favorite song that gives you a little bit of peace? You had your shrink. You're the rap. We're the raps in here. You're on the rap team. And you're on the rap team. Just like, just letting you know. So what is your favorite song that gives you good therapy for what you've gone through, the loss of Mystic?
I really love the Hall of Fame by will.i.am and the Black Eyed Peas.
Okay, well, let's take a listen. DJ Ed, do we have her favorite song that gets her through this tough time? No, not yet. Sorry. Next.
Be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world. You can beat the war. You can talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up. You can beat the clock. You can move a mountain. You can break rocks. You can be a master. Don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Standing in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And the world's gonna know your name. Cause you went with God's faith. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You know the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile. You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking over records they thought never could be broke. Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. You never gonna know if you never even try.
So the Hall of Fame is Mystic. I am going to cry right now. I mean, I want to bawl, but it's a happy, but it's a, you know what I mean? It touches that
And
feeling.
actually, his claim to fame is, can I say this real quick?
Yes, of course.
Rami was shown in over 81 classes beginning in 2002. Over 20 shows in this arena, the Bob Thomas Arena, including 5 Gasparilla charity horse shows.
Mhm.
He was the first Frisian of his breed horse to ever compete in the World Cup 2004, of which they won the silver medal with the African team, the South African team. He was the very first Frisian. Classes were held in this venue, which is Bob Thomas, in 2006. The original importing owners, the Masayowicz family, had to actually open those classes up, of which Pam Roush helped with that. So I just want everybody to please join us in the celebration of this honorary and legendary Frisian, and just come out to the show and have a ball.
And everyone's going to know Rami's name.
Yes, they're going to know Rami's name.
That's right. What a
That's
perfect
it.
song for that. We had
Yeah.
the shrink, we had the song, and we had the
Yeah.
raps, and we
Yeah.
hope that you get through
And-
this tough time.
And so, you
Yeah.
know, this World Cup changed history.
Yeah.
They would not accept big breeds in the World Cup at that time. Now they will accept any horse suitable under saddle.
Well, that's so neat.
That's right.
I like
there
it.
you go. You
Learn
never
it.
know when
This-
it's
yeah.
going to change the world.
Oh, yeah. Well, you changed my world when you told me not to pull back, because I always got bucked off of horses.
Yeah.
And now I know pulling back means go
Yeah.
faster to them. So
Well, I think it was Hollywood that figured that
Oh,
one
yeah,
out.
you're playing.
Yeah.
Okay, at 3:41 on the clock. Thank you so much. And stay tuned to the Shrink and Wrap show right here at TAN Talk Radio,
Yeah.
because we've got more to talk about horses. And we do have our nonprofit horse, Trish, or horse. Trish, are you there? You're a horse now.
Trish, you know you started all this with
I'm sorry.
bringing this up.
That's right. Sorry about that. Thank you, Trish, for being on the show today. And tell us a little bit what's going on for nonprofit in the Tampa Bay, St. Pete, Clearwater area.
Okay, that's so funny. I was going to do this one last, but given the topic, I'm going to have to do it first.
Yep.
It's the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. They have a pet pantry, and it is fully stocked. So
Awesome.
every Tuesday and Saturday, you can go there. You can get free cat food and free dog
Oh, wow.
food.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Every Tuesday and
Wow.
Saturday. They also offer all kind of brand new goodies for a suggested donation.
Aw.
And all the money goes back to the shelter to help save lives. So they have like leashes, dog treats, cat
Yeah.
treats, collars, bowls, ramps, clothes, toys, beds, anything you need. So it all goes back to the shelter.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It is
That's great. Well, that
Awesome,
ties in
awesome.
perfectly to today's show.
Yeah, thank you.
And then you can go in and pick another dog because you can never have too many.
You
Well,
can adopt. There you go.
yeah, you walk in,
cat.
you're walking out with another dog.
Yeah.
Or
Or
cat.
a cat. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Okay. March 6th through 16th, the Off Central Players Theater presents Morning After Grace.
Mhm.
And it's a hilarious comedy that tackles love, loss, and coming to terms with growing old.
Mhm.
So that's in the St. Pete Art District. You can get more info or tickets at theoffcentral.com.
Nice.
Okay. And then March 8th, the Safety Harbor Craft Beer Festival. There's 30 plus breweries, live music, food trucks, and more. And that benefits Paint Your Heart Out and the Kiwanis Club of Safety Harbor.
Mhm.
That's at Safety Harbor Waterfront Park. And tickets and more info, eventbrite.com.
Mhm.
And then the Gasparilla Film Festival. That was on pause for a while, but it looks like it's back on.
Mhm.
So that's March 25th through 30th. That's run by the Tampa Film Institute's 501(c) nonprofit organization, supporting filmmakers and dedicated to advancing film education. So they bring arts education and quality films to the Tampa Bay area. You can go and support them that way, or you can also volunteer. So that's GasparillafilmFestival.com.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that, are we wrapping it up with the nonprofits for right now?
Well, if I have more time, I have more. If we have to go, I can save them for next week.
We have time. We have 2 people on the line, so we have time for one more.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to mention Kendra Scott. Everybody loves their jewelry, right?
Mhm.
Kendra
Of
Scott
course.
Jewelry.
Yep.
So March 8th through 25th, 20% of her sales, or the sales at Kendra Scott, will be donated to Inheritance of Hope, which is a charity for people with terminal illness.
Wow.
Oh,
It's a great
That's
cause.
awesome.
And you will get some great pieces of jewelry.
That's
Yeah.
really
So-
nice.
We applaud that.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're looking for a gift, that's the place to go.
Yes, it
Or
is.
something for yourself.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Trish, who's our nonprofit host right here at the Shrink and Wrap Show. For all of you listening, this is your community station. Stay tuned. We got some great, some more songs coming up, and we have. Speaking of Gasparilla, UPHA Gasparilla Horse Show's coming up, and we have the guy that's in charge now.
Yes, John.
And John, is
Yes,
he
he
on
is.
the line with Dr. Weaver? Thank you, Trish. Okay. John, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Good. And you?
Very good. Thank you. And we also have a Dr. Weaver that's joining us as well. Is she on the line as well, DJ? Dr. Weaver?
Hi, guys. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Dr. Weaver.
How are you? Thank you both for being on the Shrink and Wrap Show. And I'm going to toss it over here because I'm going to learn more about what's going on with Detective J, because she is our horse expert. So tell us what's going on.
Well, I'm not the horse expert,
Well,
but
you are for me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we have John and Dr. Weaver on.
Yes.
And John is he takes care of over 14 large horse shows all year round. And Dr. Weaver has been a vet, a University of Florida graduate for over 20 years. And one thing we have in common is she took care of my Rami for almost 18. So I just want to throw it to you, John. I wanted to ask you real quickly, if you could tell us a little bit about why you kind of got into this arena, if I could use that word.
Well, I was a horse trainer for 30 years, and then my son took over the business, so I decided to start managing shows. There's another manager named Peter Fenton who lives down here now, and his mom was really like another mother to me. And when she retired, I took over some of her shows.
Yes.
Now I run the New England Mortgage Show last week of July, which we have over 700 horses.
You know, John, when you and I spoke, I wanted you to tell that story real quick about the little autistic, because I know you work with the foundations that also do the equine therapy. Could you tell us that story real quick about the autistic young lady?
At the farm, we have it's a neighbor, and good friends of ours had a daughter that was slightly autistic, and she started riding. And when she first came to the farm, she wouldn't talk to anybody, look at them. She'd just kind of hide. And now it's 2 years later, and you never know.
Yeah,
it's the same kid.
She's like a
but
star.
for the horses really brought her out of her shell.
Wow, that's such a great story. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that goes back to the confidence. And,
But even deeper with someone that might be, having those challenges.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yes,
absolutely amazing.
Tell us about this event you're involved with this weekend, right?
Okay, it's a Gasparilla charity show. We started last week, actually, Friday and Saturday. Then we took a couple of days off, and now we're going through till Saturday, I'm sorry. There's horses from New Hampshire, Kentucky, Ohio. A lot of people want to just get away and get to the warm weather down here.
I think we saw one last night. We were there from Connecticut.
Yep.
Yeah, Connecticut.
Yeah.
She actually won one of the classes as
well.
Yeah,
she comes from Connecticut. She has her horses in Kentucky.
Yeah. Wow.
And Dr. Weaver, do you go to this event as well? Do you participate in this at all, this event? Are you familiar with it?
I am familiar with it. A lot of my clients go there, but I don't usually go there myself. No, the fairgrounds is a little out of my practice area, but I have been there before, though.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you see all those horses. I know you used to see Rami before we'd get him over there just to give him good physical and make sure they're up to the challenge, because it's like being an athlete.
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah. Do you guys have any, for someone, any advice you can give anyone that wants to get a horse from either one of you, or should they go to this event? And then Dr. Weaver, do you guys have any comments you want to talk about with therapy and helping people? And,
I personally raised a son in the horse industry. It's been the best thing ever. The kids, with drugs nowadays, all these kids are They watch out for each other,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it's like one big family. I totally can't push enough for kids to get into the horses.
Yeah. And you're so right.
And it's funny you say that because I used to say, especially like when we had our martial arts center and anything like that you put your kids into, of course, there's expense. And I used to always say, do you want to spend money doing this where they're making friends, where they're making talent, where they're making skills, or do you want to spend money with a rehab?
Yeah.
One of the two.
Right.
Yeah.
Anna, do you have, is it Anna or Anna?
It's Anna.
Anna, that's what I thought. I was going
Yeah, like on a piece of paper. If
Yeah,
that
Anna,
helps.
oh, I like that. See, I'll remember it more like that. than just
Okay.
myself.
Yeah.
So do you have a horse? Have you ever been horseback riding or any pets? Or
No, I haven't had a pet in
Well-
quite some time.
Oh, well, you must have one today. By the end of the day. We'll give you
Yeah,
till
no,
the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I like dogs, but yeah, I've had very limited interaction with horses, and
What about a fish?
I don't want to fish. I feel like
You can put your YouTube on.
yeah,
your
no
TV.
shade to the last caller, but you can't really pet or cuddle a fish. So
So you really don't feel the need for, like, do you get any satisfaction of your neighbor's dog or anything like that? Or I mean, you just don't have.
I don't know. The dog I met today was pretty cool.
Is it?
But
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
Yeah,
She's
I
the
think-
best.
I mean,
Juno.
yes, yeah.
And they have a Luna. And I get very confused. in
Get
here.
him confused. But I think the boyfriend and I are in the market to get a dog soon. He is breed loyal too. He wants a Doberman again. He had a Doberman that he was very fond of, so we'll probably get one of those.
Oh, well, you have to keep us. We'll help you look forward.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So going back, I wanted to
okay.
get your point of view of that, but I also want to go back to Dr. Weaver. Can I just ask you, because I want to know if Anna she's been sitting here listening to all of us, but why do you feel horses really, do you feel like they can really see your soul, what Janice said earlier in the show?
Well, I think we say that, horses are really good for the soul. They just give you that natural attention and give you peace,
Mm-hmm.
when you're around them. And they're just, they're good for you. I would encourage anybody that's interested in getting experience with horses. You don't want to just jump out and buy a horse. First you want to maybe try to go to some local farms and take riding lessons. Just try to take riding lessons, or there's several barns in our area that offer like therapy riding, and they always take volunteers.
Yes.
And you can go and learn to just groom a horse and lead and clean stalls and things like that. And they're always looking for volunteers. There's like a place called Quantum Leap Farm that does therapy riding in our area. And, that would be like a great place to get an introduction of being around horses that are calm and good.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to know. Yeah. I mean, do you have any questions for Dr. Weaver also?
Well, I think that you,
Sorry.
I think you said it, that basically where you're at is that you have to be, you're around how many animals a day, you've got how many appointments a day. I guess I just wanted to know, do you really feel they have a different spirit, a different way about each horse, a different personality?
And this can go to John too.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All the horses are very different, I think. They're always a little different. It really just depends on how they, how they are.
I'm actually going to throw that question over to Hollywood, because I think from a male point of view, how do you feel about that as well?
Yeah, I agree. I can only identify with my horse, and he knew me inside out, outside in. If I had a bad day, as soon as I mounted up, it was like, I got you. Don't worry about it. Forget about it. We're going on a trail ride, and we just relax.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew how to calm me down real quick. And we'd ride in the park, and folks would come up and go, "Hey, that's Mystic." And I'm like, "How do you know my horse?" "Oh, we know your horse." "Well, I'm the owner. You don't know."
You know
it's
what,
kind of funny too, because when you get on a horse, there's nothing else you can think about.
Yeah, DJ Ed, do we have, and thank you for that. And first of all, I want to thank Dr. Weaver for coming on. We're low on time right now, and I'm going to try to squeeze in a couple things very quick. Thank you, Hollywood Chris, and thank you, John, for being on our show today. And I wish we had more time, but I want to know, do you have just 30 seconds of Rhinestone Cowboy? That's his favorite song.
Thank you, Dr. Weaver.
Thank you so much. 30 seconds.
I've been walking these streets so long, same old song. I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway, where hustle's the name of the game, and nice guys get washed away.
So that's one of your favorite songs, just that's an oldie but goodie, right? Who sings that?
Glenn Campbell.
Glenn Campbell.
We
So
knew that.
is that your day of going back and riding your horse?
Yeah.
Right?
Watch that on YouTube. You'll see him riding actually beautiful white stallion.
Yes.
Oh,
We'll have to watch it.
He was
I'll tell
actually
you
a
how.
rider.
I'll tell you how old that song is.
Yeah, tell us. I don't
It's a
remember it. I've never heard it.
It was a popular song we played in band in high school.
Oh my gosh.
That's a great song. Don't you agree, Ed? That's a great song.
Played in
Is that
band.
taking you
Yeah,
back
it's
to
still a great song.
But do you see that song just took
Oh,
it
it's
back
a
to his
good song,
elementary years? Or band, high
And
school.
when I asked Chris, I said, Hollywood, what's the favorite song?
Right.
That came right off the top of his head.
That's right.
He said, that's it.
So thank you so much all for talking about horses.
Thank
Don't
you.
go away. We still have 5 minutes left. I'm going to have 2 minutes with Renee for entertainment. And I'm going to give you a beauty tip. And we're going to end today's show with someone that does a lot of fundraising for animals. So I want to end it with his song. Let's go back to Renee for 2 minutes. Is she on the air?
Hi, guys.
Hi,
Hey,
Renee. I
Renee.
hope you're feeling better. Thank you for joining us today here at the Shrink and Wrap Show.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Now I know how you felt when you were sick.
Oh, I will girl can walk. Yeah.
Quickly go through this. There's a lot of festivals going on this weekend, you guys. But we're ending the Strawberry Festival, and their lineup is still fabulous. And I'll start, and I'll just go down the list. But in order to really find out what times and events, tune in. You should Google FloridaStrawberryFestivals.com and just look at the event. But we have tonight the Oak Ridge Boys, or today.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Whiskey Myers is tomorrow at 7:30. The Beach Boys are at 3:30. John Party is at 7:30 tomorrow. And then if you haven't heard him, he's country and he's really amazing. He has a bazillion hits and country hits. And then on Saturday you have Sawyer Brown, and we got to throw in a little Nelly. He's there at 7:30. And then on Sunday we have John Fogerty.
That's
The
nice.
next festival is all weekend, Friday to Sunday, March 7th to the 9th, and that's in Largo, and it's the Largo Seafood Festival.
Wow.
It's a 3-day extravaganza with a culinary extravaganza. I would tell you, I've been there, and they have great local restaurants, live music.
Wow.
And
a
then
lot going on.
Daycare Sound is having a great concert, Dropkick Murphys, starting off the St. Patrick's Day. It opens up at 5:30. That's Saturday, March 8th.
That is
And
awesome.
Busch Gardens Food and Wine.
Red's giving me
go
1
there,
minute.
Tracy.
1 minute. 1 minute. Food and wine,
Bar-
Busch Gardens.
You and I go there all the time.
Yes.
I love Busch Gardens.
Yes.
There's a great lineup there, but you can look at that on buschgardens.com.
Yes.
And
Renee, 1 minute. 1 minute. I got to cut you off, girl. I feel bad. Ed's in there wrapping it up.
no
Literally,
worries. Got it.
or you're going to get cut off by Ed.
Okay,
Thank
bye,
you for
y'all. Have a good
all
weekend.
that. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that
Bye-bye.
information. And I want to let everyone know, if you need to get your hair done, go to truehair.com, truehair.com. That's where if you need to get your color, you
Yeah.
want to save some money, check out Chelsea Scott's True Hair, all kinds of options out there.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for listening to Shrink and Wrap Show. Let's listen to Matchbox 20.
Yeah, I need it.